So the two cards that are assigned to this particular moon are the Page of Cups and the Four of Cups. And both of these cards have a correspondence to something being offered and whether or not you are receptive to that. Now, that key word pleasing is somehow at odds with the purpose of this moon, which is all about separation and division. So it may be that some of you are not pleased about what's on offer, and that becomes the bone of contention in separating, or perhaps you're trying to divide something, and the focus is on what is pleasing to all parties involved. Whatever it is, this is going to be a cycle of emotional developments, emotional matters that emphasize your thoughts and your feelings. And it could be a period where you get some kind of news. Maybe this is about a marriage, an engagement, a pregnancy, a birth, some kind of message of love, or maybe it's contact with a friend. For others of you, this may be something creative. Maybe it's a good idea or a new project of some sort, or getting some training, learning something. And still for others of you, there's a focus on youth, children, their well-being, their welfare. So those may be considerations taking into account whether you are pleased with something on offer, receptive to it, or whether it becomes the catalyst for you to separate. Because this is a cycle where there is some kind of inevitable turning point in matters. Something that has been running along in a particular direction for a pretty good length of time is now going to start to change course, for better or for worse. And you're more inclined to share your feelings, express them, rather than deny them. And the events that take place during this 2-week cycle may confirm something that you've been feeling. So you may put something out there, and you'll do it in a way that is direct, open, but not too forward. And you're also a good listener during this period of time. And you may not be receptive to things that don't pass the test for you, because you're able to discern the truth from what's false. So in doing so, you manage to stay one step ahead. So this is a period where you're looking at something and maybe you romanticized it at one time, but you're starting to see it with more honesty, more clearly. So for some of you, you're really getting in touch with your emotions, and you're becoming aware of how you feel about a situation or another person. You're starting to see what you like and what you dislike about certain things. And that may drive you to be more assertive in dealing with things that you've been avoiding. If this is about the material, maybe you're going to seek better employment, or you're going to pursue a new interest. And if this is about a relationship, your feelings for someone are beginning to change, again, for better or for worse. Maybe you are connected to a friend and you're starting to realize that you have feelings for that person, and so it has the potential to become something more. Or if you were at odds with a partner, maybe you're reconciling your differences and you're starting to fall in love again with that person. You're starting to see the better parts of them, or remember why you came together in the first place. Others of you, maybe you're interested in meeting new people. But the Four of Cups says that there can be some kind of discontent, some kind of indifference to what's being offered, either because you don't want it or you're so self-absorbed that you miss an opportunity. So some of you, there are things that are on offer, social invitations, emotional messages, news, but you have withdrawn. You've turned inward. And maybe what's on offer, you realize as you look closer that perhaps there's something missing and you're not really motivated to socialize, or you've gotten something but you still feel empty inside. So this could be a period where you're taking your time, you're thinking, you're contemplating before you make that next step. Especially if you're having to reevaluate and reconsider some recent decisions or choices that you now find questionable. It could be that it may be hard to resist the temptation to issue or respond to an ultimatum. And it's my opinion that ultimatums aren't really all that positive. And so it could be a situation where putting that statement forth does more harm than good. Some of you, there's a blur between your personal life and your professional life, and that's starting to become a problem. Your personal issues are starting to spill over into your professional life, or vice versa. And for others of you, there's some dissatisfaction, and it may have started off small, some kind of little thing that got on your nerves, or a series of annoyances or disagreements that suddenly turn into some kind of full-fledged confrontation. So it may be that the turning point is actually some kind of turmoil. Maybe it's family turmoil that brings some kind of news or responsibility that you didn't expect. Maybe you're looking at a partner of any sort, social, romantic, business, and thinking that, continuing on this path is just a mistake. And for others of you, part of the issue is putting something out there that's not altogether true, perhaps. Maybe there's a tendency to exaggerate, to make yourself feel more important, to look smarter, to look more whatever. And that only ends up creating more problems. So it's a cycle to really be in touch with your intuition and your emotions so that you don't mistake the difference between the two. There could be something that you feel is your destiny, and yet it's just simply a desire, maybe a strong attraction. So for some of you, this turning point has to do with dealing with negative issues. Maybe there's an issue with school or study. Could be you or your child is a poor student, or it could be an immaturity in someone where they're not really planning for tomorrow, they're just living for the day. Or maybe you're dealing with somebody that has some kind of emotional disturbance. It could be somebody that is selfish. Others of you, the focus is on perhaps jealousy or too much attraction that ends up feeling like it's fawning, or that fatal attraction feel. In the positive, something is on offer that requires you to take a leap of faith in yourself, in a situation, and either you're feeling anxious or worried about it, or you're in such a good place that you can take options at will. And because you're feeling good, a number of opportunities will show up for you. And if you want them, you can take them. If you want to turn them away, you can. But this is a cycle where the material is intertwined with the emotional. And you're more discerning about what's on offer. Maybe something is put forth and you're aware of both the good and the bad, the possibilities and the pitfalls that others may not consider. And because you're seeing the full picture, or you have that foresight, you're able to head off potential problems and plan ahead. So if you're in a good place with your job, your material security, your role in the relationship, you have a number of pleasant things showing up that can provide you material security and emotional satisfaction. But for those of you who are uncertain about what you're doing, where you are, whether that's presently or where the future is headed, again, you may start to question yourself and other people. And you may turn down opportunities or offers until you are able to solve a problem. But the issue is that even though maybe you're getting some good advice, you're not paying attention to it. And so you're really having to look at where you've had your head in the sand, where you were in denial or maybe even taking too much for granted because you didn't want to believe that something had changed, or you're refusing to accept that it has. So again, it could be dissatisfaction with what's on offer, or it could be the end of your discontent. Maybe you're ready for new opportunities and you're finding new solutions to old problems.